Oh, yeah, yeah. We got on right now. How am I doing? I am beat up. This is my off day. Figured I'd do some stretching, some physical therapy stuff after going heavy the last few sessions, getting ready for this competition. Every single joint hurts. My wife is a board certified physical therapist, massage therapist, and she saved my butt. She worked on my shoulder. I was really super tight all the way through the bicep to the connection point. Nice driving. You're driving what, livestock, Jesse? So you guys see me lift heavy all the time, and you see me hit the heavy bag all the time. But like, really, well, one complements the other, because as you do all that damage going, super heavy, squatting, deadlifting, benching to get stronger will add to longevity. But at a certain point, you are doing some serious cumulative damage to your body. And so the way I've been able to still compete at a high level at the age of 50 is I do all the extra little stupid lifts that everybody kind of looks at and goes, what the hell is this guy doing? And I actually think that it's more important to do that stuff than it is to go heavy. Because, like, let's say you can squat 3 times your body weight, but if you can't bend over to pick something up off the floor, or I see a lot of guys in construction and they wear knee pads and they'll be like kneeling, whatever, carpenters, drywallers, and that helps, but they can barely get up and move around. Whereas, like, for me, I can actually work in a seated squat position. I can rest here and I can do work, you know what I mean? And I don't have to wear those knee pads, and it's a lot easier for me to get up and down, as one example. And that's something that a lot of guys over the age of 40 or 50, they lose that. And at a certain point, it almost becomes impossible to get it back. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. And oh yeah, I'm never gonna stop powerlifting. The question is always, what level of powerlifting will I continue to do? You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, like, I'll always be involved in the sport. There's a lot of guys, a lot of the older guys, they'll show up and they'll do the local lifts, and they're not trying to break records or anything. They just participate in the sport. For me, I don't know if I have that in me. Like, I have this. There's something like I always say I want to show up and just have fun, and that's true. I like seeing everybody. But the second I get on that platform, this monster takes over, and I just need to be the best. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I don't articulate that. I don't tell people that, but it's there. It's in there. I'll be like the other day when I was my shoulder was hurting, and I had to do my third set. I did 325 for a set of 3, and then I was supposed to do 330. And I asked you guys, I said, hey, what do you think? Should I back off? It's not really worth risking getting hurt. And but there was, inside of me, there was this little guy going, fucking do it, you pussy. You're gonna bitch out in front of everybody. And then the other voice is like, you probably shouldn't risk hurting yourself. Doing explosive knuckle push-ups. Yeah, those are rough. How does my shoulder feel? Pretty good now. It's not pain from benching, it's pain from squatting. Because when you got that weight on your shoulders, your arms lock the bar in, and after, like, you get close to 600 pounds, it puts a lot of torque on your elbows. So you get that tendonitis that runs from the bicep connection point that goes into the labrum all the way down to the elbow. It's really common. Is she still alive? Who? Oh, she's doing good. I think. I don't know if she's watching or not. I just saw a 75-year-old Savage deadlift 525. Yeah, isn't that awesome? It's just there's something really cool about like watching Grandpa get up there and get after it. Yeah, it'd be the Jeff Gordon of powerlifting. Yeah. Is your knee hurting at all? My knees always hurt. It's a matter. It's to what degree? So, based on my scale of normal pain versus like, hey, I should back off. I would say I'm at a 2. I'm scared of having knee problems. Well, I had knee problems before I ever started lifting. I had blew my knee out and had a couple surgeries. Um, Lifting fixed it. So my doctor told me if I wanted to get off pain pills, I had to start doing squats. That's kind of how I got started. I don't really show. I use this thing quite a bit, but I don't really show it on video. But I like to use it to. It's really good for sciatica. You want to kind of get all your weight on there and really separate your minimus from the maximus. Kind of dig in there to get to that piriformis, which is a little triangle muscle that goes across and it helps with articulation. And a lot of times with squatters, it'll be as tight as a guitar string. And not only will it choke off the sciatic nerve, it'll fuse with it. So they'll have to go in there and physically separate the nerve sheathing from the muscle tissue. And it's super painful. This is right across the IT band. Oh, yeah. You can feel the muscles separating. And then kind of angle it in. This is where it's difficult because you got the bottom of the hip there. Right, you're trying to get right where the femur connects in. Just kind of rotating that. You can almost, if you relax, you can almost feel it separating, like your legs popping out of the socket. So if you guys get phantom pains, right? Like say you have hip issues, if your knee is hurting, there's a good chance that that's your nerve firing and lying to you. That's not uncommon. Sometimes it's a pain that can go all the way down to the foot, and it can produce some tingling. Now you could have neuropathy, which is a degeneration of the nerves, and the only real way to go to get checked is to go in and have them do a nerve check where they'll hook electrodes up to you and they'll actually fire the nerves. But a simple way is to just get a foam roller and separate, really dig into the glutes, run along the right in the joint, live in there a little bit, kind of rotate through it. You'll feel it. You'll feel where it kind of separates a little. And come down the IT band. And if you get pain relief from that, that's a good indication that you might have some sciatica. at the iliac crest, which is the connection point of the hips. You really want to roll in there. Ooh, baby. You just doing that now I have almost no pain in my knees. So now I want to put weight over my ankles. I'm just going to lean to one side and try to keep my foot as flat as I can. Lean to the other. Just go until it's, you don't want pain. Discomfort, yes. Pain, no. Right where it, just before it starts to hurt, just sit in that position and relax. And then right, go to the other side. So it starts to hurt right there. So I'm just going to sit right here. And it's not uncommon to have one side that's better than the other. Most of us have an imbalance, like built in. We have a side that we prefer. Hey, doggy. What you doing? The dog likes to stick his head through the cat door and just... it's kind of weird. He just stares at you. So now, to have a good seated squat, you want to kind of get your back up, right? And you don't want to be bent over. Like, a lot of people can bend over and find a balance point and kind of relax into it, but ideally you want to be upright. That's why holding a weight can help, because it shifts the center of gravity up. It kind of just forces you into an upright position. So I'm just working those ankles. This also hits the calves really hard, but it's more for ankle mobility. Whew. All right. Ooh, yeah, crunch, crinkle. That sound like 2-year-old Rice Krispie treats being wrung out. Well, yeah, no, I am very inflexible. I love when guys come out here and they're like, "You're not very flexible, are you?" I'm like, yeah, that's kind of why we're doing this. See you at 50. I can't wait for some of you fuckers to get older. I guarantee you ain't gonna be doing what I'm doing. The longer you sit on that toilet scrolling them YouTube videos, it starts cutting off the circulation in your legs, and your ankles are swelling up. That means you're starting to, your limbic system's starting to fail. Won't be too long. You'll be hunched over, scrolling, can barely type insults. You're not very flexible. That's why you gotta get, if you can get that seated squat position, you'll be able to shit better. Well, you don't count, wet. You're a different kind of human. Georgie, what's up? You know, people say bench arch is unsafe. The guys that when they're bench pressing, they arch their backs. You know, like, oh, you're gonna hurt yourself. It's like cobra pose. Really? What's not hygienic? I don't use my phone in the toilet. Yeah, cat cow's really good. So when you do the cow, I'm sure you know, David, but for anyone who doesn't, when you get into the cow position, try to suck your abs in like a reverse crunch. I miss doing yoga. Well, we do yoga. We just don't do a lot of it. You're getting better, baby. You one of those fist bumps instead of a handshake. Why aren't you number one in the world? Let's see, what did Dopp say? I see stiffness. Yeah, right? Oh, man. I can see the comment section's going to be fun tonight. So again, this is, I'm putting all my weight on my knee to try to force my ankle closer to my glute. That's a limitation I have. Trying to keep my feet as flat as possible. I'm going to come in and open up the hip, push this way, roll into it. This will push my hip through. And again, for context, I'm a competitive powerlifter, and we get really tight from doing heavy lifts, and I'm getting ready to compete. So I'm trying to mitigate that the repetitive motion stress from going heavy in one plane of motion Open the hips up. Put your legs at a 90-degree angle. And I'm just going to rotate through. If you have any impingements in your femur, your labrum, this is definitely going to show. You'll feel it here. You want to do windshield wipers. One more. 3, 4, 5. Windshield wipers. 2, 3, 4. This one I want to have like my leg at a 90-degree. Same here. I'm going to stretch over. 2, 3. I'm going to roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. I'm not flexible at all. No, I let that. When I get close to these competitions, I lose my flexibility bad. But that's why we do this. What the hell's going on here? What is this? What's this tomfoolery? What am I looking at? Goddamn kids. They're rolling around the floor. A lot of shandle. I eat the conditions, but they're too goddamn chewy. What PEDs are you on? All of them. Everyone ever made all at the same time. Max the Gifted. What is your cycle of steroids? All of them. I went down to Mexico and I said, give me one bottle of everything that's been ever made, and I just put it in a horse syringe and jammed it right up my ass. YouTube has been censoring my comments all night. Yeah, because I have like certain words that are blocked, and I'm sure you're trying to be offensive, so thank you. I'm not going to tell you which ones I are either. You're like, are you on trend? Yeah, sure, why not? I'm on trend. What? I don't even argue anymore. I don't care. You guys think what you think. It don't matter. Growth hormone, sure, growth hormone. Costs more than my mortgage, but why not? We'll throw that on top of that. I like to put that, sprinkle that on my sandwich. What's the work cycle going into competition soon? Yeah, I compete on the 15th. I have 3 more training days. Yesterday I did squats and deadlifts. I went 580 on squats for a triple. Fucking buried the first one, so that's heavyweight acclimation because I'll be going for a 650-pound attempt, hopefully. And then I did 620 on the deadlift, and then I have 3 more sessions left. I got to do 600 for a set of 4 on squats, 355 for a set of 4 on bench, and I want to say 635 for a set of 4 on deadlift, and those are split up throughout the week. And then I'll take a deload week, a complete week off, and I'll be doing this stuff in between. We might have like a day where we do heavy walkouts, which is where you like say your opening attempt is 600 pounds on the squat, which is probably right around where I'll be opening. I might load 700 or more on the squat bar and just pick it up and walk out with it, and then do a static hold for 15 seconds. That what that does is it like primes your nervous system. It's a whole body workout. You hold that huge amount of weight for 15 seconds, your entire body tenses up. Do I like John Jones? Not really. I think he's fake. Yeah, I live in Vegas, so we get to see what these guys are really like out here. Matthew Miller, get his number and text him sex. You'll get your answer. Yeah. 600 is my opener. I'm hoping to get 650 this year. The best squat I've had in competition is 620, but I've hit 685 in the gym one time. Hit 660 a couple times. 50 years old, yes sir. How long have you been lifting weights, Julie? Heavy about 10, 11 years. BJ Penn. He's unfortunate. I think I don't know how he's doing now, but hopefully he got sober. My favorite fighter is Mighty Mouse. I think he's a super cool dude. I also like, what's his name? Sean Strickland. I think he's pretty funny. And Pereira. I really like Pereira. I like fighters that act like themselves instead of putting on this fake wrestling bullshit like Conor McGregor does, where they get up there and they act like infantile egomaniacs, and they just it's so stupid to me. Halo before the comp. So I didn't really want to talk about it, but I take testosterone and DHB, which is dihydroboldenone. Raw with chains. Khabib's awesome. Yeah. BJ's doing good now. I know he went through a rough patch where he was getting into like bar fights and he got knocked out and shit. Mighty Mouse is awesome. Poirier's cool. I also like Wonder Boy. I really like Wonder Boy. I know he's not really relevant anymore, but my daughter's in the house. She is kind of being punished because she didn't do her chores and she didn't bring her homework home. So when you go to ruck, I'm not doing, after competition. We were talking about going up into the mountains, taking a week off. Utah, maybe. I was thinking like Zion National Park or something along those lines. I mean, we got the high desert here in Vegas, so you can go up to Red Rock, and they got some really awesome trails that it's intermediate to expert climbing once you get to the end of the trails, but you can still go a few miles up the mountains, and it's not too difficult. Like the kids could come with for that part, bring the dogs. And then they got Mount Charleston, which is if you want to go see the snow or get some spring water that's up there, and then you could go to like what is that? Not Death Valley, the other one, Valley of Fire. Valley of Fire's got some badass. You can't really call it mountain climbing. There's some pretty advanced climbing, but most of it you don't need climbing gear to traverse. Why is it when you're having a good time you will pay for it? How's Miss Remington doing on the recovery? She's in the chat. She overdid it today, though. She transplanted a tree. Live in North Carolina. I'm in Vegas. Yeah, I love Utah. We when I went up to Utah to pick my work truck up, they flew me up there and then we drove home. Christina and I hit pretty much every single park on the way home. We did go try to see these natural warm springs. We were going to swim in them, but there was some flooding and we couldn't get to them, so that was a bummer. Well, I kind of, I look at it like, do I need rappelling gear or ropes to traverse, or can I do it by hand? And the way the desert trails are, you do climb some sheer cliff faces, like 90 degree, but most of them, because of the way the rocks are formed, it's really easy to find grip. So you often don't really need climbing gear to get up and over them, and they're not super, like you're not going up 200 feet. It's more like 20 foot at a time, and then you go through. It'll have like a 40 to 60 degree grade, and there's plenty of foothold. So I don't really feel unsafe climbing out here in Vegas, but at the same time, it's not something you would want to try if you were, new to hiking. Like I would say intermediate. It takes a little bit of skills, and you got to put a little thought into it. But it's not like you don't have to be an expert rock climber. I don't even wear rock climbing shoes. I wear Vibram 5 fingers. The only problem with the Vibrams is those little pebbles will sometimes get stuck in between the toes. want to know how many push-ups I can do. All of them. Do you have an OnlyFans? No. I wouldn't know what I'd do with one if I had one. I mean, probably the same thing I'm doing here. Except for people to pay for it. So I'd probably be very quiet. Here I am, baby. Oh, you guys are alright. I know you guys are just joking around. How can I tell if a twink at the gym is interested me in romantically? Goofy staring at you. He's rubbing his belly. Oh, you said a twink. What did JT do? Who's JT? Oh, Josh. He's not here. Josh in the house. Can you build a rope bridge? Yeah. I sure can. I've also got, I can still tie all my ropes. What do they call it? You got your half hitch, obviously. You got your, the fisherman's knot. You got your, clove hitch. You got your, what's the bowline with a bite? You got your figure eight. You got your double figure eight. You got your butterfly for connecting stuff to the rope. You got, and then of course, I went to school for engineering, so like if I wanted to build a structural rope bridge, I could do that too, but that would require a little bit of that effort and materials. That was part of the engineering training was we had to build structures using like toothpicks and strings. Limited amount of materials, and you'd see how much weight it could support. They'd give you like they give you your metrics and they give you your materials, and then you had to they would have competitions in class to see who would win. It's like Goku. I'm not sure if this is Goku or what's his face, but it's pretty badass, isn't it? It's all right. I can leave if that's requested. Who's requesting that? You hardly come around anymore, man. Why don't you? Is someone pissing in your chili? What's going on, Nordic? You ever had the cops called on you? Yeah. Any absent Jarl? What's up? Yeah. If you haven't had the cops called on you, what kind of fun have you had? I mean, it's been a long time. With the exception of like maybe car accidents. Ooh, that doesn't look like much, but you're putting all that weight right on your knees. So if you guys suffer from knee pain, that's a really, really good move to mitigate knee pain. It's almost like a sissy squat, but you're not putting nearly as much torque on your knees. So anybody that's got like knee pain, but they don't have sissy squats are intermediate to advanced, and this is like a really easy version that most people can get into. So all you do is you just ideally you get a little more stability with your feet flat, but you just want to lean back, and all that weight's right here, and you just do little sets. Try to get deeper. But if you can't get your feet flat, you put your toes on the ground. That's one of the physical therapy movements they had me do when I had knee surgery. And it's easy to look at that and be like, what the hell is that? What does that even do? But it actually does a lot. Which one's the reverse Nordic? Dr. Dense Nugs. Actually, let me look that up. Reverse Nordic. I'm always down to try new stuff out. Oh, damn. So that's what I was doing, kind of. So for the way that this guy, and I'm sure you too, probably do it with way more range of motion than I can. But the idea being you progress over time, so you hopefully will get better at it. Look up the definition of making amends. I'm going to stay out of that. Do you go to the Blue Oyster Bar? Have we been to that one, Christina? The Blue Oyster Bar? What was the plate on your back for? Little Joe. Okay, so I call it the turtle. But go until it's uncomfortable but not painful. You get into the split. And what we're gonna do, I'll put the back, this plate right on our neck and shoulders, and we're going to pin our legs with our arms, and then try to pop your head out and push your knees back. So we're pushing them back this way, and I'm doing sets into it, and that's opening up the hips and stretching, and then the weight just helps you sink into it a little better, and it also keeps your back straight, keeps you from curling too much because the weight will fall off. And the idea is to get as deeper every time you do these. Oop. And I help you. It's one of the many stretches you can do to help you do the splits. Oh, we love our trolls, Ghost. Semper Fi, man. The only thing I look for is we expect more from our trolls on this channel. Like I don't care if you make fun of me, but it's got to be clever. You know what I mean? We're looking for fun comments. Like you come on here and be like, "You're gay." I'm like, okay, you got me. Like, do you train BJJ? No. So I've done grappling and stuff like that in the past, but I don't really enjoy it. And I'm 50 years old. It's not like I'm going to become a professional fighter. I do train Muay Thai, and I do want, after this powerlifting meet, I really want to see how good I can get. I'm going to drop a little bit of weight uh, and really throw myself into the training for a couple months. But I'm not, looks like I might become a professional fighter. Here, in the left corner, weighing at 200 pounds, at the age of what? They sanctioned this? It smells like Ben Gay and Geritol in here. What's going on? But at the same time, I always, I do want to see how competitive I can get. I am in Las Vegas, Nevada, Steven. 50, hell yeah, up latest. I also wanted to ask, you ever listen to music while working out? No, so I have this theory. I like to put on like podcasts. I listen to like Dr. Jordan Peterson or Joe Rogan or fill in the blank, any of the famous podcasters. Sometimes with lifting, I like Zach Tellender, stuff like that. And the theory is, or the hypothesis rather, is I'm not getting amped up. I'm just working out, and I'm still going with full intensity, So when I go to the meet, when I'm competing, and you got the metal going, hell yeah! And I always ask for System of a Down when I get on the squat, right? Do squats, and you get amped up, and you just like it's like a PED on top of whatever it's like it's like a drug. You unlock this adrenaline, this superpower. You're amped up, and everything feels light, and there's no pain. But then you gotta the important thing though is meets can take hours, so you got to be able to turn that off in between your lifts. You can't, you'll wear out. It's not sustainable. So I've also gotten really good at just like calming myself. I can amp up if I need to, but I can calm myself if I need to. Because music is I'll if I'm struggling with a lift, I'll throw on some music and just like get after it. I think music sometimes can be just as powerful as like a pre-workout or a cup of coffee or whatever. Seamus. Fiend Gurmy. I listen to Shane Gillis. Yeah, yeah. I need to work out. 54 hits hard. Doesn't it though, man? And guys are like, does it get any easier? Yes. You just learn to tolerate shit. There's like a level of pain that you'll never be free of. But it doesn't matter if you work out or not. In fact, a lot of times if you don't train, it gets worse. I had the back surgery, I had the broken the micro fracture, and then they had the pinched nerve and all that shit. Everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't squat. It was worse when I wasn't squatting. Just sitting is the most painful thing. That like when I'm in my truck driving around for work, oh Lord have mercy, my leg starts hurting. Oh, it's unbearable. So I come home and I do some squats and I feel better. What's up, Pace? Extreme highs and lows, kind of like firefighting, extreme adrenaline. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that you come down from that, and it kind of wipes you out a little bit. So that's why I try to turn it on and off like a faucet. Just use it when I need it. Live, laugh, and the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's all I know, man. Yeah, Zach, that's why you take creatine. Are you a pro wrestler? I don't think I'm a pro anything. Is there anything I'm a professional at? Outside of like commercial construction. Yeah. For working too hard, I told him he just didn't work hard enough. Yeah, right? Thank you, Mr. Krogan. Mr. Krogan, is that a Mass Effect name? All right, we need to. There was a couple of things I wanted to do. I have some goofy training that I'm going to try for the first time, and I'm sure it's going to garner me a lot of criticism because I don't have the aptitude for it yet, but you'll have to bear with me because I'm going to do it anyway. Not done stretching though. Ooh. If you have balance issues, well, ideally you need to work on your balance, but if you have to hold on to something, there's nothing wrong with that. Just something to help you get into place. Whew. Feeling slow though, man. Training for this powerlifting. My cardio sucks. My flexibility is tanked. My limbs feel super heavy. Everything's slower. I'm getting ready to compete in a week. So it'll be fun to, once I get done with that, I'll trim down a little bit and get back into Muay Thai training. Get my lungs back, get my cardio back. Powerlifting, if you want to do it at a elite level, it kills you can't serve two masters. You can't be a good ring fighter and a good powerlifter. I mean, there's guys that are just naturally, they're just athletic and they can do whatever they want. But if you're trying to get as strong as you can, you're not doing the cardio that you're supposed to be doing. You're focused on, maxing out recovery. You're putting on weight. You get that repetitive stress, motion stress. And you doing this, everything's like, oh, I can barely lift my legs. Normally I can kick over my head and I'm up here and it's like, ugh. But what the cool thing is that strength then carries over. When I have good technique, I have all that power. They say bodybuilders, powerlifters make terrible fighters, and that's true. You see the guys that get in there and they can't throw punches and they look stiff. But once they loosen up and they learn how to do things properly, boom, boom, they become really, really hard-hitting people that you don't want to get close to. Like Eddie Hall, he's training at the UFC Fight Center. And you saw when he fought Thor, he looked horrible, right? Well, he did have an injury, so. But I'll tell you what, looking at him now, he's over 300 pounds, and the dude looks good. He looks like he could fight. Is he good enough to be professional? I don't know, but I wouldn't want to get in the ring with him. I'm not a bodybuilder, Tyler, or Tyrell. I'm a powerlifter, so there's no pro card. You either, to become a professional powerlifter, I think I needed to have a 500 dot score to get on the All-Stars team for the USPA. And with the McCulloch age modifier, I had a 510 score. But there was some reason why, that still wouldn't be considered professional, but what they do is events where you could win money. Kind of like strongman competitions. So technically, if you're lifting for money, that would make you professional by default. But how much money can you make as a powerlifter? I mean, there's only a handful of them that can actually live off of just lifting. A lot of it comes from endorsements and stuff like that. And, if I'm being completely honest, there's not a lot of endorsements for guys that are 50 years old. Iron Rebel, I'm technically a sponsored athlete. So if I give you my code and you buy a pair of Iron Rebel shorts, I get a percentage of that. Is that a sponsorship? Is that an endorsement? I don't know. But I mean, you can get sponsored by different equipment manufacturers, things of that nature. So Steven, I'm looking at your comment. So does Eddie have a fight coming up? Did you see him fight those two little midget dudes? They look like midgets compared to him. That was the funniest fight I'd ever seen in my life. I was laughing so hard. That guy, he threw him, and then when he got up, he ran into his cross, and I thought he killed him. I was like, oh my God. I wish I'd have done a commentary on that. What are my maxes? On record, 620 squat, 385 bench, 670 deadlift. Currently in the gym, I'm doing about a 1710, 1720 total. My best total on record is 1651. And I'm hoping to definitely kill that on March 15th. On March 15th, I'll be competing in Las Vegas at the Nevada State Open Championships. I think they call it the Desert Rampage. And they'll have international judges there, so it's a qualifier for Worlds and Nationals. We go there, get my numbers, and then if I have the money and the time, I can compete at Worlds. I think I'd rather do Nationals though. I think Nationals is more fun. Kevin, what's up, brother? If you don't mind me asking, what are your maxes? Hopefully I just answered that. Sitting or lying curl. I don't really do curls. I personally think curls are a waste of time. I mean, if you've got a diet that's heavy in pulls, pull-ups, rows, pull downs, whatever rowing you're doing, especially if you're rotating the styles that you're doing, like pendulum rows, dead rows, standard regular like camber bar rows, extend the range of motion, cable rows, lat pull downs, pull-ups, weighted pull-ups. You're doing all that stuff, and your main movement is the deadlift. If that's you have a heavy diet of deadlift, dead rows, barbell rows, weighted pull-ups, you're going to have pretty good bicep development, and you're not going to really need to do curls. But every once in a while, if I'm bored, I'll break the curl bar out and just hammer a few sets out. Russian MMA fighter is a five-time world's strongest man before he was a fighter. Oh, is he fighting what's his name? he's gonna get his ass kicked. That dude can fight. He's like legitimate for a heavyweight. Well, he's getting old though. If it's the guy I'm thinking of, who's the strongman MMA fighter? Let me look him up real quick. Russian Russin. God damn it. Where are you? Strongman. MMA fighter. So that would be, oh yeah, Mariusz Pudanowski. Is that who he's going up against? Pudzanowski. How old is he now? He's is it Pudzanowski? Yeah, he won strongman a bunch of years in a row. 5-time world's strongest man. And he was born in 77, so that makes him he's 3 years younger than me. Holy shit. I'm 3 years older than Mario Pudanowski. How sad is that? Hardest ab workout. I don't really do ab workouts. I do compound movements, squats, deadlifts, barbell rows, overhead press, bench press, weighted dips, weighted pull-ups. All of those full body movements, those are all working your core. You can't squat 3 times your body weight without working your core, if that makes sense. So I don't do a lot of core isolation stuff. That being said, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, in Muay Thai fighting or training, we do a shit ton of sit-ups and stuff like that, and I don't like it. Dagestan and Chechnya. Block of mail. There was a chat directed at any Epson Jarl. We were talking about hamstring curls. Hamstring curls are awesome. You got to work your hamstrings, and there's a couple ways you can do it, but the hamstring curls is a simple and direct, easy way to hit them. You know, I mean, like you could do like sissy squats. There's a bunch of stuff you can do to work your hamstrings. You can do reverse squats where you get on an inversion table and you literally reverse squat. That's good for your whole body. I do those from time to time. Any absent Jarls, he's a mod for a lot of streamers. Sounds like the Polish version of Putin. 26 unflexed. What's 26 unflexed? He definitely got a killer overhand punch. I hit pretty hard. Good morning for hamstrings. Yeah, so yes, good morning. I like to do Zercher good mornings. Usually we hold it and then you allow the weight to pull you down. And I use those and really, really stretch my back out. I've kind of replaced good mornings with deficit deadlifts using a 14-inch block so that my toes are the same height as the bar. And what I do is I touch my toes with the barbell, which stretches everything out. And it puts your back in a super compromised position. So when you imagine you have the weight, you're gonna touch your toes with it, and you're stretching out. Well, your back's really compromised, so to mitigate that, right before we pull, we tighten up and we bend the knees a little bit, and then we're pulling with the glutes and the hamstrings. And I found that to be replaced because it's all about efficiency, like how much can I get done in what amount of time. Because I was doing Jefferson curls, I was doing good mornings, I was doing deficit deadlifts, and all of it was to work the lower back because of my back surgery and the injuries that I've had. Well, I found that lift to be one size fits all. It checks off all the boxes. It stretches out all of your spine. It stretches your lats out, so it's a little bit of a lat workout. And then it directly works the lower back if you target that, but it also hits your hamstrings and your glutes if you, depending on how you decide to pull the weight back up, and it allows you to go a lot heavier than you normally could with like a Jefferson curl. So it's just like it checks a lot of boxes off. It is responsible, and I have data that correlates for adding like 100 pounds to my conventional deadlift, and using 50% 1 rep max. So I can work out lighter, it's safer, and it's more therapeutic, especially if you're a guy that has, injuries that you're trying to recover from. Somebody needs to tell Ronnie Coleman I'm coming for his 30-inch thighs. You know what? Ronnie got his surgeries. So everybody thinks that Ronnie got messed up from PED abuse, and it wasn't. It was he had botched surgeries. He had like malpractice suits for really bad back surgeries he had, and it looks like he's gotten everything fixed, and he's starting to make a comeback. Recently, I saw a photo of Ronnie Coleman, and he's looking good, man. He's looking like he's making a big time comeback. Goku or Satima, or I'm a Satima, sorry. Goku. What do you think about that? Yeah, I gotta go with Goku. I've got an 18-inch neck, and that's just about the most impressive measurement of me. What do you do for forearms? Forearms are super simple, so I don't isolate the forearms at all. What I do is when I do my pulling movements, I remove my thumbs. I will demonstrate. Let's see here. Where's the old... I'll do some pull-ups real quick. So, when I'm doing pull-ups, or any pull movement, it can be barbell rows, I just take my thumbs out of it when I'm doing them. Doesn't matter what the grips are. And then same thing for rows. And that really, really, really hammers this out. And then this right here is pretty much taken care of when you're doing all of your rowing exercises. But this is where most people have development issues. That little, like looks like steel rods in there. So, yeah. Now, how obviously when your grip fails you and you need to keep going, then you can grab the bar normally. And I've been doing it that way for, I don't know, 7-8 years. Satima wins because it's his power to always... Oh, one punch. Duh. I'm sorry. Yeah, one punch wins. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Satima. I got my anime mixed up there for a second. Sorry, guys. I'll punch myself in the face later. I have a great voice. Open a pizza shop. I'll call it. Didn't know any 705. I don't know any firefighters, but I know a lot of MPs, or as we call them, buddy fuckers. D-ball, R trend, Izzy, everything, all of it. Just do all the steroids, every lab. Just go down to Mexico, buy every one on the shelf, and just put it into a giant turkey baster, and jam it up your ass. He got that wrestler voice. Mm-hmm. Who remember Kimbo? Oh man, who can forget Kimbo? What do you recommend for upper body training? I can leg press 770 for full reps and over 1100 for less than half reps. My upper body can barely do anything. So, I have a lot of thoughts. You ever wonder why a guy can leg press 1,800 pounds, but he can't squat 350? How is that possible? How can you move 1,800 pounds with your legs, but you can't squat 1.5 times your body weight? It's simple. Your core is not developed. So the core is the key to everything. So the first thing I would do is I would switch from the leg press to exclusively doing barbell squats. And it doesn't matter if they're light to start. Everybody feels awkward when they first go into barbell squatting, but you're the number one exercise every single serious strength athlete or any person that's trying to get stronger should be doing is squats. And the second thing I would add is deadlifts. I think deadlifts are critical too. People will often argue that the deadlift is more important than the squat because it works the back as well. And you can make an argument for either one, but I think they're both important. Now, the next thing is overhead press and bench, and that takes care of your pushing. So what else you got? You need rows and pull downs, or preferably weighted pull-ups. You do those exercises, those 5 movements for 6 months using something like the 5x5 or the Wendler 531, which is a progressive overload program, and you're going to be right where you need to be. So you have the leg strength, your legs are perfectly fine, you just got to bring everything up with it, and that's the beauty, is it'll probably catch up pretty quickly. So it's funny, it's like I'm going to recommend squats for upper body, but it's true because you really need that core. You got to develop that core with everything, and everything blows up from there. It's like, what makes my arms look big? Is it the biceps? Is it the triceps, or is it my shoulders? I would say the shoulders kind of make the arm, give it volume. And of course you want that nice back taper. You see Zelensky and Trump in a meeting. What did you think about it? I thought it went exactly as I didn't think it would get that kayfabe. But, if he wasn't ready to sign that deal, he wouldn't have shown up to begin with. So it was I think it was a little bit of posturing on both sides. I would say I understand why Trump did it, so that the public could see it, but that probably should have been a closed-door meeting. They've already hammered all that stuff out well before he ever came to America. There's no way that guy's going to go all the way to the Oval Office to not do that deal. You know what I mean? So a lot of that's just for show. And it gives CNN something to talk shit about, Froggy Goggins. I like that name. What are you just kidding about? I didn't see a previous comment. Are you a powerlifter? I play one on TV. I thought that meeting in the Oval Office was funny. Yeah, it was a little like, okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. Way more helpful than watching other dumb YouTubers that won't get to the point. I will do that. I won't be able to actually squat 100 pounds by the year's end. No, and that shouldn't be your goal, Paul. Like, you got to get that out of your head. There's been a couple times where I got seriously injured, and my first knee-jerk reaction was, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my strength. I need to get back. I need to get back to what I was doing. And not possible. Not possible without further injuring yourself, or there's just what I do personally that works for me is I mentally adjust and I say, this is my new starting point. It doesn't matter where I was before. This is where I'm at now. Now, you're not coming back from an injury, but you are starting probably with lower numbers than you would like to, based on the amount of weight that you're leg pressing, because it's a lot of weight. It's probably, people walk by and are like, damn, look at this motherfucker. And then, if you're like me, you got like 135 pounds on a squat bar and you're looking around like, fuck them. That's why I train at home. Nobody, at the end of the day, no one gives a shit what we lift. It's all about A to B. How do you get from here to here? And the quickest way is to, go ahead and regress yourself and start from with that squat is going to catch up fast because you have the leg strength. Now we just got to bring everything up with you. And the cool thing is like, I don't know, it's the body is beautiful in the way it will, the symmetry of everything. You're not going to see a guy doing squats with giant legs and little tiny arms. I know there's exceptions to that, like you see the speed skaters in the Olympics have these enormous quads and these little tiny calves, and then you see some of the like Lance what's his name, the bicyclist. They got the giant quads too, but those guys are in pretty good shape as well. Lance Armstrong. So there are some exceptions to where they're just working that muscle, and it'd blow up. But the squat uses so much of the body that it's going to bring up everything with it. It's going to bring up the back. It's going to bring up the core. It's going to bring up your shoulders, everything, your traps. Um, Obviously, not as much as hitting those muscles directly will. It's all tied together. You do those 5 compound lifts, and it covers every single muscle in your body, and you're just going to be right where you want to be in like 6 months. That's really why I love the starting strength 5x5. It's such a simple program, but for people starting out with barbell sports, you can't mess it up. It's got the right amount of volume with the right amount of progression, and it's going to bring everybody right. Like, I think every lifter should do like the 5x5 or the 5-3-1 for like their first year. And then when that starts to plateau, then from there you can pretty much transition into anything you want, and you have that awesome core base of strength and muscle to pretty much do whatever. I just need money and time to be able to start working out again. Hell no, man. My wife will tell you, I had a gas pipe and brake rotors. I was benching and squatting with that. We would fill buckets up with like dirt and put them on like broom handles and do farmer's carries. I was curling like water jugs and rowing like whatever. You'd go out back and pick logs up, splitting wood. We'd go to the park and we're doing dips on the, on the playground, pull-ups. Like I didn't have any equipment. The world was my gym. What I started out with was a landmine. For anyone that doesn't know, a landmine is where you put the barbell in the corner. It's got the little plate, you stick the thing in, and then you can hinge the barbell on the fulcrum, which is in the corner, and then you put 1 or 2 plates on there, and you've got a gym. You can do everything with that. You give me a landmine and 2 plates, and I will be rocking a physique. Bodybuilder is a scam. It's just another thing to keep you distracted. I don't know. If you enjoy the sport, that's cool, but yeah, it's not really that. I'm not really into it. To me, it's a beauty pageant, and I respect bodybuilders immensely. I'm not talking shit about them, but it's just like it seems like it's a lot to put your body through, and it's not very healthy. And I don't know. At the end of the day, you're being judged on your looks, and but I do appreciate the dedication that goes into it. I just like powerlifting is like visceral. It's like it's that lizard brain part of man where it's like must smash, pick a weight up. How much can you lift? How much can you chuck this rock? Like go smash that thing. Like who's got the biggest whatever log? Like, it's like Mongo smash. Powerlifting. Pick it up, put it down, do it again. Ripeto's right on a lot of things. You probably hate my training style though. I don't like Ripito. I think he's a sanctimonious prick, but he's right on the compound lifts. Like his squats, I pretty much use his squat form. He's right about a lot of things, but he's wrong about a lot of things. The dude doesn't know shit about Olympic lifting. But power lifts, yeah, Mark Ripeto's the way to go. I would say starting strength 5x5, he nailed it. I think what happens to like guys when they get famous, they need to be relevant, and after a while, everything's been done. There's only so many ways you can pick a weight up and grow a muscle, and even if they didn't have the science back in the day, they figured it out on accident without even knowing what they were doing. There's only so many ways you can pick something up and put it down. So these guys like Dr. Mike Israetel, who I love, by the way, I think that Renaissance periodization is great, especially if you're an intermediate to advanced lifter and you're no longer progressing. A lot of like length and partials and a lot of the principles he's using can take a guy that's at his natural limits and push him a little bit farther. So to that end, it's great. But there's like this need to be innovative, and it's they overcomplicate just the simplest, most beautiful thing where you just go into a gym and pick some fucking weight up and move it. It's like, why are we complicating this? But there's a time and place for everything, and I think that the science-based lifting is really awesome for guys that are at their limitations or just can't progress and they can't figure out how to get to that next level. But for beginners, just get under the barbell and move it. You get some good form, learn how to learn how your body mechanics work, learn how to balance the weight so it's moving in a straight up and down line and you're not fighting gravity, you don't have any inefficiencies in your lifts. You get your form dialed in, you start adding weight, and you keep progressing, and you're just going to blow up. And then when you get to that plateau, that's when we can start talking about the science-based stuff like the lengthened partials and all that bullshit. Undulating periodization and conjugate or different training blocks. It's like for beginners, just get the weight and move it. That's just my personal opinion. I'm a simple kind of guy. Six-pack abs are like one of those dietary things. But here's the thing: it's like you're gonna develop those abs whether you want them or not. It's like even with me, I sit down with my gut hanging out. I even have them. But then when I sit down, it's like. Someone's like, "You look like you're pregnant." I'm like, "Man, is that better? I'll just sit here like this. This is comfortable." Conjugate, deadlift, bench, squat, days, max effort, exercise, cycling. Yeah, the rest 48 hours, repetition. And it's actually, you really. But, okay, so radiant, but here's the issue. Like, if I was new to lifting and you told me that, I'd be like, okay. Like, I don't know what those mean. That's words. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at that going, yeah, you're right on. You're one lift variation for 3 weeks. Yeah, I do 3 weeks and then I'll deload. And then we have a conditioning block for powerlifting, which is like a lower weight, higher rep, like 50% one rep max for like reps of 50. However many reps it takes you to get to your 50. And as small of sets as possible. So if you could get 20 in your first set, and 15 in your second, and 5 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 1, you get to 50 reps no matter what. You grind it out. Do that for 3 weeks. That's your conditioning block. And then we get into conjugate is. I like conjugate. What we do is we cherry pick. I've cherry picked a lot of like Mike Mentzer's HIT principles for my actual training block. And what I'll do is instead of doing volume, I take one set to failure. So I do 3 warm-up sets, 3 working sets, 1 set to failure, done. And I'll do that until I get into my peaking phase, which is now where we do like heavyweight acclimation, where the sets start at like 6 and then work their way down to 4. And now we're looking at like 90% 1 rep max for sets of 4, 3. And then a week before competition, I work up to my openers, which is, 85%, 90%. And then I take a week off and then I go compete. And right now I have 3 training days left. I have 1 day for squat, 1 day for bench, 1 day for deadlift. And they're all sets of 4. And they're all, I want to say 90%. So I have to do 600 for 4 for squats, 355 for 4 for bench, and 635 for 4 for deadlift. And if I can get all 4 of those reps on all 3 of those days, I am on track to hit my target weight in competition. If I can't, if I can only get 3 or 2, I don't know. It'd be a good test to see where I'm at. Hit some the meat on top of them. Hell yeah. What advice would you give your 23-year-old self? Stop talking about yourself when you're talking to women. Ask her about herself. Nobody cares about you. Shut up. We don't need your resume. That and you are an alcoholic, so you might want to do something about it. You couldn't convince me at the age of 23 that I was going to wind up homeless because of booze and drugs. And good times were had. I wouldn't want to take them back. It's like people are like, I was in an AA meeting and someone had the audacity to say, you know, my worst time sober was still better than my best time drunk. And I was like, you're a pussy. Like, what did you do for fun? Like, are you kidding me? I had some wake up in a dumpster with Vaseline on your lips and your butthole hurts. Like, what kind of night did you have? Holy shit. We had some good times, but we had some really bad times too. So I just tell my 23-year-old self, you're in for it, buddy. I hate to tell you, you're in for it. If I'd have known then what I know now, I might not have. But here's the deal. Here's the problem with that. It's like the butterfly effect. Throw a pebble in a pond and watch the ripples. If I could go back and change something, it probably means that I wouldn't be with the ones I love right now and talking to you guys on this lovely night. What would I be doing? How would my life change? Would it be better? Would it be worse? But I know I wouldn't want to give up what I have now to change something in my past. Plus, how do you get good stories if you don't put yourself in compromising positions? Dude, if I ever run for office, I'm going to have. I did not inhale. Inhale? I shot that shit right into my butthole. It's like, what are you talking about there, Billy? You have a carjack, you lift my car. I look like Ronnie Coleman. How long? Mac, I think it says Mac the Gifted. And I'm imagining you're on the toilet, scrolling through live streams, and you came upon my channel and you said to yourself, I'm going to say something funny. You look like Ronnie Coleman. I want you to think about that and ask yourself, what's the problem with that statement? Now, if you're talking about muscularity, I wish. I don't think I look as big as Ronnie Coleman now. Like, he's a big dude. He's got beautiful genetics too. That guy, if you go look at Ronnie Coleman's first one or two Olympias, he was natural, believe it or not. And him as a natural, he placed 17. His first competition. I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, there's no way. He looked 100%. That's genetics. It's like there's only one Michael Jordan. There's only one LeBron James. There's only one Tiger Woods. And mistakes were made, but still, the boy's got the talent, right? There's the curve. All of us are on a bell curve. You got the lower end where you might have a hard time. And then you got the average, which is where most people fall in. And then you got the elite, which is, that's where the bell curve starts tapering. But then you've got the outliers. You got the people that can't do anything, and then you got the guys that are godlike. And outliers. Ronnie Coleman is an outlier, Michael Jordan is an outlier. Larry Bird is an outlier. All those guys, they're just genetic freaks, and I think that's part of the problem with the fitness industry is they've sold a lot of us, including myself, on the idea that if I do what you do and I take what you take and I eat what you eat, I'm going to turn into what you are, and that's just not true. But that shouldn't prevent you or discourage you from trying, because you're going to like the version of yourself that you discover. And a lot of it is how to push through adversity, if nothing else. It's putting yourself through punishment and knowing that you can keep going even when you think you can't. And I think that's really like the number one lesson that you get from all your trials in life. Check engine. That is a great, my first car was a Chevy Celebrity, and it was a piece of shit. It was the same color as this coffee cup. It had a hole in the floor, so if I wanted to throw garbage out, I could just flip up the floor mat and drop it right out. It would only do 60 miles an hour if you pushed it off a cliff. And it was, hey, you know what? It was a car. It got me from point A to point B. $500 I paid for that piece of shit. FEMA Power. Okay. What is your weekly split to balance martial arts and powerlifting? I'm not there, dude. So I'm doing powerlifting, and I'm getting ready for a competition, and it's really hurting my martial arts training. Like it was earlier, we were doing stretching, and I'm slow. I've lost mobility. My cardio sucks. I don't really think you can be. You got to pick one or the other. Now you could do both, and you could do both decently. Like for example, I'm going to start doing Muay Thai training exclusively after this competition. I'm probably going to lose a little bit of strength, but I'm going to maintain most of it. I'll probably maintain 90% of my strength. And if I want to go back into powerlifting, it'll be a really easy transition. But I got to get my cardio up. I got to get my flexibility up, which means I got to drop a little bit of weight, and I'm going to have to like sacrifice one rep max or max effort sets designed to increase my one rep max. I'm going to have to cut that back to RPE 8 or 9, you know. We'll do what's called maintenance lifting. So that, you know, to the average person, nobody's going to notice that. They might be like, what is that going to look like? Instead of squatting 650, it might be 600. It's still an elite level squat by any metrics for a 50-year-old. But I got to sacrifice that, and I'm going to focus on what I need to do to get good in the ring. What I did find, though, is that the martial arts training really, really helped mitigate the issues with powerlifting that you accrue from doing repetitive motion at max effort. So the stretching, the body weight exercises, the core work, the calisthenics, all of that really helped with the aches and pains. And I would highly recommend, like, that's what I started doing. The reason I started hitting a heavy bag to begin with was because I hate running and I needed to do some kind of cardio to maintain my weight class. And I found that hitting the heavy bag for timed sets was perfect. I was going to say, what do you look for in a man? As little penis as possible. What's your opinion on He-Man? The new one or the old one back in the 80s? Yeah, 84 Ford Tempo. Hell yeah, man. Where did you get hair again? Where? I've been growing it in weird places, to be honest with you, like my ears and my back. Do you fear death, or do you fear the dark abyss? All your deeds laid bare, your sins punished. No, I do not fear death. Thank you, Davey. What is the best generation in your opinion? Gen X, for sure. I mean, we were the least judgmental. We minded our own business, and we didn't need any help getting shit done. We're survivors, you know. You can put a Gen X out in the middle of the desert, and he's going to build you a house. What? You do that with a. I, my opinion on millennials is starting to turn, though. I work with a lot of millennials, and I'm seeing like they're really team oriented and very competent. The ones that it's a different kind of proficiency. They're more apt to team up to do stuff, whereas Gen X is more solo guys that just want to be left alone to do their own thing to their own detriment. Sometimes you need to ask for help. So it's like I kind of like that. The younger Gen X and the older millennials, that group right in there, this is to me is like the best generation. But that's just my opinion. You know, I don't really. I hate to say it, but a lot of the kids, like my son's 13 and my daughter's 10, and those kids can't do anything. They can't do anything. It's like if my son and his friends wanted to go to the store a mile away, I would be terrified to say, yeah, go for it. Like, when I was 13, I had my first job. I was a janitor at the grade school that I graduated from, and my dad let me work there so I could save up money to buy a car. You know, I was literally riding my bike 20 miles from the house. I met this girl named Sally, and she lived 18 miles away, and I rode my fucking bike over there. It's like, kids, they don't do that shit anymore. It terrifies me. It's like, how do you give them that experience? How do you harden them up? And there seems to be a lot more malevolence in the world, so a lot of it is just like worried about something happening to them. They're making another Karate Kid. The hardest hair to cut is in the crack. You gotta have the right pair of clippers. Give Give me a second, guys. I'm going to use the bathroom. All right. I don't want to be at this all night, so I better get busy here. I just started doing those recently, and ideally, I want to get to where I can keep my feet off the ground when I go through, and then eventually just do it with my arms on the floor. Whew. Dude, I had my kids way old, so I was 36 when I had Aiden, and 40 with Della, and I'm glad. I'll tell you why. I would have been a shit dad, bad. And now I've already got the partying out of the way. Now I train with. That's one of the reasons I do this is so I can still participate in their lives. So we all go to the gym together and train, the whole family. And you don't see that. Parents my age, they sit there and they play on their phones while their kids train, and that's cool. But I'm out there with them, you know. That's one of the reasons why I do Muay Thai, so I can do it with them. We did boxing for almost with a professional trainer, 6 months. My daughter's got hands. She could box. So unknown, this is interesting you say that. You don't need exercise. Enjoy the rest of your life. I completely disagree with that. Like, getting out there and seeing the world's fun. Like, going rock climbing is fun. You know, going up in the mountains is fun. Participating in life requires the ability. And not to mention, I have a passion for lifting. I enjoy it. It's like how I meditate. And the alternative is to, what, just get old and die? You know, like, ossify to the point where you can't move and you're completely immobile. Plus, if you want to get scientific, the only thing that has proven to stave off aging, including things like, you know, neurodegeneration, Alzheimer's, cognitive abilities, is exercise. That's it. You have to, resistance training specifically. So, like, a good example, Christina's grandma walks. She's very ambulatory. She's in her 90s. She walks a lot. But she can't bend over and pick stuff up off the ground. If she just did some body weight squats, or, you know, did some light dumbbell work, she would be able to do everything. You don't need to lose that. I needed pictures of Spider-Man, Parker. Scumbag dad. Thank you, Blanca. What did Devin say? I won't be your stepdad hoe. David, I would have been your dad, but the dog beat me over the fence. I probably shit bigger than you. And you know what? Christina would kick your ass. Like, I wouldn't even need to intervene. That's for Devin Steady. I would just let her go. She would whip your fucking ass, and I would laugh the whole time. And then if she needed me, I'd be there. I don't think she would, though. You don't even know what you're getting into. I'm not gonna block anybody. Like, I hope they stick around. People are spoiled at the gym and the air conditioners. We didn't have air conditioners and maybe one air conditioner, Arturo. I got a swamp cooler. It gets really hot in the summer. It'll get up to like 110 in this garage. So I do have a swamp cooler, which keeps it at a, I don't know, 80, 90 degrees, but it's tolerable. You know what I mean? I'll be a horrible parent now at 22. My parents had me at 35, so it's not time. It's not time for me now. Yeah, he's not. Oh, did you get rid of him, babe? I didn't. Hopefully he heard me before he left. You look like L.A. Knight. Let me look that up. L.A. Knight. Okay. You can live with that. I don't like his hair, though. No, I guess his hair's all right. A little bit of a pompadour. Not quite my style. I can live with that. Yeah, he was being an asshole to you. Let's see, what other comments did he have? I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see any other comments. I know he was talking shit. I saw bodybuilder Gabe Horn in public today. Where at? Vatican City. Vacation City. We see a lot of them out here in Vegas. One of them I used to train with, his name was Stan Everding, and he used to train at Iron Antics. You know, not with us, but he was there while we were training, and you talk to him, and he knows who I am. I guarantee it. And he was a dick because his son and my son went to the same school together, and it was a parent-teacher night, so he was there with his wife, and I went up and said hi to him, and he acted like, "Don't fucking talk to me, I don't know you." And I'm like, wow, what a douchebag. And I kind of let him, I actually said something to him the next time I saw him at the gym. I was like, "Oh, are we good to talk now, or is that okay with you?" Something like that. I mean, he didn't respond to me. Like, dude, you might be famous in the lifting community, but outside of bodybuilding and powerlifting, nobody fucking knows who you are. So quit acting like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of cool. If I go to like an IPL or a USPA event, no matter where in the world, everybody's known who I was. And even one guy even said, "Oh, you're that YouTuber." My tiny little channel. It's like, so in the powerlifting community, I could say I'm a celebrity, but outside of powerlifting, nobody fucking cares. You know what I mean? Like, it's like down to earth, buddy. You know, like, we're doing good for ourselves, but quit acting like you're royalty. You know, I can't stand that shit. I don't like people that act like they're better than other people. You know, it's like, no matter how rich or successful I could get, I don't think I'd be any different. You know what I mean? Because it's all temporary. You could lose it all like that. Beef or chicken? Yes. Oh shit. I love me some Trump. OG Boo Dirty. For what is this exercise? Try it. Why do you tremble in fear when you hear the word of God? And when Trump upholds the Constitution? Who are you talking to? Sausage muncher? Oh no, Sergio Moreno. I thought it said sausage muncher. You're in the wrong neighborhood, son. Ghost of the Amishi. Fish and peanut butter. And beef for patties. We do love fish. We love sushi. We eat a lot of Japanese food. Sucks that I only get 4 years of Trump as an adult. Yeah, it's going to be fun 4 years, too. I can't wait. I have a feeling it's too early to tell. But I suspect J.D. Vance is going to be our next president. Because, yeah, Trump's got a 12-year plan. I mean, everybody knows Obama was the one running Biden. I think beef is better than chicken. What do you think? Well, okay, so let's see what beef. Beef's got creatine in it. It's got bioavailable B2. Good. I mean, I'd say beef is superior to chicken with its protein and micronutrient profile, but it's which one tastes better? Well, yeah, steaks, like a good ribeye, but chicken can be delicious too. Plus, chickens give you eggs, and eggs are awesome. So I would, if I had to pick one, beef, obviously. Did you see that Elon wants Derek Chauvin to be pardoned? Derek, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think he should be pardoned too. I had to make sure I was talking about the right person. Yeah, Derek Chauvin should absolutely be pardoned. I mean, what's his name? George Floyd was fucking on a fatal amount of fentanyl and who knows what the hell else. And he was freaking the fuck out. And we made a martyr out of that guy. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, it was tragic that happened, but like, there's no way that guy should have been sentenced. He was sacrificed at the altar of woke, for sure. Just like the January 6th riot or the overthrow insurrectionists that were led through the White House like they were on a tour and held for over a year without due process. And people have the audacity to say that was the like worse than the towers falling. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I don't even know how anyone can say that with a straight face. You know, it's funny. If you look at when Trump got elected the first time, 2016, and the riots that happened downtown around the Capitol, like there was billions of dollars of damage and small businesses were ransacked and cars were on fire and it was like a war zone down there and it barely made the media. Like that was a true insurrection and it didn't even make the news. What happens when conservatives do it? Well, one of them got shot. Oh no, some police officers got injured. But you know what I mean? It was like fucking it was all fabricated bullshit. And they act like, you know, it just pisses me off, the whole thing. The hypocrisy is what makes me angry. You know, we endured, how many years of mostly peaceful protests where they literally took over the sovereignty of a city that people lived in and made it a free zone. Like, I don't remember any of that shit. They tried to burn down federal police offices with people inside of the building. You know, they barricaded the exits and they were firebombing the buildings. Why aren't all those people? Why didn't they get arrested? You know what I mean? It's like they were burning down. Oh, it's just unbelievable. Like I just can't stand the hypocrisy. It's not saying that one should have happened or shouldn't have happened. It's equal treatment under the eyes of the law. If you're going to punish them, you should punish them equally. And it doesn't matter what their ideology is. I have no ideology. I am not a conservative. I am not a liberal. I am an independent. I believe myself to be a free thinker. JD Vance or Marco Rubio. I think I think they're. It'll be interesting. It's too early to say. It's too early to say. There's a lot of shit that has to happen, and I think with Trump on a very upward trajectory, but he's going to meet resistance at some point, and his opinion, the polls on him are going to fall at some point. It'll be interesting to see when that happens, because they're going hard. They're going hard at the Doge guys. You know. They're calling them Nazis. They're calling them, like, they're saying they're destroying freedom. And these same people that are benefiting from that money that's being allocated, we're taking away their bread and butter. And of course, it's like antibody resistance. But what makes the news? Like, what do you guys see on CNN and NBC and the legacy media? What is the picture they're painting? Like, oh my God, the nation's falling apart and we're all gonna die. Meanwhile, if you actually check other news outlets out and you listen to like the geopolitical channels and you actually get a real feel for what's going on, you don't watch the sound clips that they clip out and take out of context. You actually watch the whole interview. You'll see that we're actually moving in a really good direction, and I'm super excited for the future of this country. They might eliminate income tax. Are you fucking kidding me? Ron Paul, baby, we did it. Yeah, I would say I'm a constitutionalist too. Bobby, is that your real eye color? I hope so. Are they red? Trump is going to make you all broke with those tariffs. As opposed to what, Randy? Right? We're suffering the worst inflation that this nation's ever seen. And they printed trillions of dollars, most of which was unaccounted for and went overseas to pay for all that stupid shit that they're exposing. Here's what I can tell you. 2019, Trump's president. I had the most money in my bank that I ever had in my entire life. We bought a house. I had $35,000 left in savings. My credit score was over 700. Everything was paid for. Fucking great. The next year, when good old Joe Biden took over, I had the worst year of my life with the fucking lockdowns, the unconstitutional. You want to talk about a threat to democracy? The fucking lockdowns they put us through, which all turned to be bullshit. And you ideologues, you little fucking liberals, stood by that shit and tried to massacre anybody who didn't fall in line with your nonsense or even had the audacity to ask questions. And you should follow the science. You guys have never read a scientific fucking paper in your lives. You can't even spell your own last names, you pieces of shit. Fucking hate all of you. And you're going to come on here and tell me that what he's doing is going to hurt the country after we had to endure 4 years of that bullshit? Fucking punch yourself in the face as hard as you can right now, and I'll wait. Anyway, where were we? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, the tariffs. You don't know shit about geopolitics. Yeah. You know, and this is the other thing, Peter. We as in billionaires. So you got a system that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. We've been in an ideology of deconstruction, revolutionary, tear it all down, burn it down. But there's no reconstruction. Everybody wants to tear the system down and then replace it with what? You fucking Marxist genius don't have a clue as to what you intend to replace the most free and prosperous society that's ever existed with. What? Communism? Oh, that worked well in the past. No, now everybody can be equally poor while the rich get richer. Good job, dickheads. No, you know what? Let's return to free market capitalism. Let's get rid of as much of the government as we possibly can. Let's make a really strong military. And if we're going to do geopolitical overlords to ensure free trade and that sort of thing, let's fucking do it and stop lying as to why we're out there. You know what I mean? Like, tell it like it is. The reason why the navies in the South China Sea is to preserve shipping lanes. You know, we're keeping pirates from taking Maersk ships over so that you can go on fucking Temu and get your $2 fucking shoes tomorrow. Ugh, you want that to continue to happen? Well, you better hope the Navy stays out there. You can't have it both ways. That's all I'm saying. I don't. You know what the billionaires do? They create jobs. Without the billionaires, without Amazon, without all these companies that create these businesses where people can then go to work for a living wage. You know, I'm really glad that Elon's a billionaire because he's got Tesla, he's got SpaceX, he's got the Boring Company out here in Vegas, which hires like a couple thousand people that get paid really fucking well to dig tunnels underground. And they all think that he's sleeping on a giant pile of money, like he's got it in a mattress. Like all that money's reinvested into the company so it can continue to grow and it continue to hire people and it continues to keep the economy going. It's you guys you hate these people getting rich, but you don't understand that they're the innovators, the movers, the shakers and thinkers that produce so that we can live luxurious lives by any metrics in history. And maybe it's like you should show a little gratitude that you were born in this country at this time instead of like, oh, I don't know, maybe during the bubonic plague or maybe in some third world country where you don't know if you're going to eat tomorrow. Like, when's the last time any of you people that rail against free market capitalism have missed a meal? You ever gone hungry? You know what I mean? Probably not. And we are not a free market capitalist society either. That's the other problem is the government pretty much controls who we do business with. And I'd like to see the markets actually opened up to true competition, but baby steps. We'll see what Trump and the Doge boys take care of. Here's the thing. I don't care about billionaires, and this is for Peter R. Like, I don't waste my energy worrying about who's good and who's bad. I worry about myself and my family and making myself as good as I possibly can. I make myself more valuable so that I have something to offer to a company. You know, it's like these people think that they're entitled to be taken care of because they fucking exist and they don't have to put any effort into it. You know, my industry, I'm still going to school and I'm still learning and I'm still getting credentials. So that now I'm at a point where I can negotiate my salary and I can move to any company I want to. And I make enough money to support my family and I could buy a house or maybe two. You know, I'm not rich by any metrics, but we're comfortable. And all of that is because of the time and effort that I put into making myself valuable enough so that a company's willing to pay me for my services. Everybody else thinks, I don't give a fuck about who owns Southwest Steel. I hope he is a billionaire. You know, he's probably doing something right. That means the company I work for is going to stay in business and I'm going to have a job. And it's a pretty good job. I really like it. Do I hate him because he makes more money than me? Fuck no. I'm glad he owns the company. All right. I need to do a little bit of exercise and then get offline. Got one more set of these to do. Hoo-wee. Make Jack Rabbit slap the bear. Hey y'all. I can't keep up with the comments, Mohammed. No, people don't really understand they don't understand geopolitics. They maybe watch MSNBC or CNN and they hear the talking heads spout something without, I call it contempt prior to investigation. And you can just tell when somebody's never looked into something. Fox News, I would include them too. I mean, they make their money off of sowing discord. I mean, you have your ideologues on both sides, and they have their camps, and they want to hear opinions they agree with. I would say tariffs are terrible, but they can be a useful tool for balancing the scales. So I totally agree with what he's doing. We're starting to see countries capitulate. Like, did you know you can't, to buy a Chevy in Europe, you have to pay 100% more than the vehicle's worth? Why is that? They won't do business with us. They don't need to. Meanwhile, we pay out of the ass for their products. So, if he actually gets rid of the IRS and he gets rid of income tax, I will completely agree with the tariffs. I think that being the end game, you being able to keep the money you earned, and you decide what you want to pay taxes on by buying that product, I think that's fair. I think that's the way to go. I mean, it's all, ideally, the market dictates supply and demand, and it dictates prices based on supply and demand. And we don't have that because there's too much government regulation and intervention. And we have what appears to be free market, but it's not even close. I love the tariffs. The thing is like anytime you make grand sweeping changes across a bloated, corrupt system, there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be people that get hurt financially. And there's probably going to be a time while things are going to get a little out of control price-wise, but you have to implement these changes and let it run its course. Otherwise, how are you ever going to change anything? And to the people who have been revolutionaries for the last 4 years saying that our system needs to be burned to the fucking ground, and now that they're doing it, you're bitching about it because it's not your side doing it? Come on. At least they have something to replace it with. They're talking about giving the money back to the taxpayers. And you're going to, cry about that? It'll be interesting to see if they actually do it. Up to this point, it's all talk. Here's what I can tell you, though. My grocery bill went down significantly. It's still super expensive. I also think I could be wrong, but it seems like a lot of people that are complaining about the changes that they're implementing aren't supporting families. They tend to be like a younger generation that doesn't really have real world experience. Anybody that thinks communism's a good idea hasn't read a history book for sure. I think the Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn should be required reading in grade school. Maybe, you know what I mean? We should literally be teaching why communism sucks. I'm super, it's because of the powerlifting, I'm super heavy on my feet. Like my switching is really slow. A little drill we do, you bring the leg up, and you just hop. I should be able to balance. This will help you turn your kicks over. And it's hard for me right now. It's like I'm grinding my foot instead of hopping. Because I'm heavy, I'm slow, big. So once I get done with this powerlifting, I'm going to lighten up a little. Whew. Who's fascism? First of all, if you're going to use the word fascism, you need to give me a description of what fascism is. If you haven't read the Encyclopedia Italiana by Mussolini, you're not allowed to use that word. You don't even know what a fascist is. That's just a stupid insult, you pejorative you throw around to anyone who disagrees with you. If you can't define fascism, shut the fuck up. I'm an educated man. I studied all this shit. I did my dissertation on Eastern Bloc communism in the 1917 October Revolution, when the Bolsheviks took power in the Soviet Union, Russia. We studied communism in China, Cambodia, Cuba, a couple other places, and how it interestingly has failed miserably in every society it's been implemented, and it's caused, like in Cambodia, it was 1/3 of the population that got killed, and it was all the competent and educated people. How it's failed miserably in societies that were so diverse that they had no connection with each other. So you can't say it's a cultural thing. Peter's a moron. You don't know what fascism is, fucktard. Just give me a definition. I know what the Google definition is. I want to hear your own words. If you're going to call people fascists, you better know what the fuck it is. Because you don't. You have no idea. Fascist to you is just anyone who disagrees with you. It's certainly not somebody who believes in free market capitalism. Screenshots are forever, dipshit. Where did he go here? I did take a screenshot of it. So even if you did delete it, I got a screenshot of it. Well, either way, like, I'm not going to waste my time on you because you're a moron. No, I take that back. I actually do welcome the discourse. I just don't like it when people resort to like using 2-year-old pejoratives when they run into somebody that disagrees with them. Kind of like, it's like, I know you are, but what am I? It's like, it really dumbs the conversation down. And that kind of gets under my skin a little. But we're glad you're here. We do welcome dissenting opinions. were those switches? They felt okay. I'm out of breath. My switching's getting better. Let me catch my breath, Zach. This is the other thing about powerlifting. My cardio sucks. I'll get back in the gym, start doing the circuit training. Yeah, right? Cody said, stop smoking. You're doing great. Great effort at such age. Thanks, Upender. Okay, so what is the best memory in your 50-year-old life and advice for the young generation right now throughout your experience in life? Something I struggle with to this day is gratitude. I know it sounds so cliche, but it's like I can sit here and mope about the problems I have. You know, family issues, kids at school, problems with the job, bills. We're on a tight budget. We always seem to run out of money. There's just like a mounting pile of responsibilities. I got to drive around all day. Christine had surgery. I got to go to work, come home, take the kid to school, come home, pick them up, come home, go to practice, come home, train. It's like I'm running all day long. I fucking hate it. But then it's like, I start thinking, no. I was a homeless drunk. Like, I get to do that. I get to take my kid to school. I get to be there for my wife. She was there for me when I was injured. Like, I get to do all this stuff. I've got more shit than a man knows how to do with. I'm in excellent physical condition for a 50-year-old. Everything. Life is fucking good. We have 22 chickens. We make our own eggs. It's like, we have such a cool little family unit. And it's like, it's a pain in the ass, but it's like, I wouldn't change anything. So you see the two arguments? On one hand, life sucks and then you die. And on the other hand, it's a fucking adventure, you know? And it won't always be this way. She'll get better, she'll start driving, and maybe I'll miss taking Della to school every day. I don't know. You'd be surprised what you miss. So, like, that's my first thing, is just be grateful. No matter how bad it is, it will get better. And what's my best memory? Wash that ball. My daughter, she had this little smiley face squishy ball. I don't even think she was 2 years old. And she was taking a bath, gnawing on it. And then she started singing, wash that ball. I was looking at her like, wash that ball. And I had this little piggy stuffed animal. It was like a tube, a little pig face on the end. I just go boop on her face. She's like, I always think of that. Like that's like my most fond memory. And I have some really good memories with my wife, but I don't know if they're appropriate to share on YouTube. Hey babe, you remember when we were in the Mustang over by that Mormon church? Ben Kelly, he's on so much test and who knows what else. I'm on all of it. I'm on every steroid that's ever existed. Well, I went down to Mexico and I said to the pharmacist, I said, give me one bottle of everything. And I put it all in a turkey baster and I just jammed it right up my ass. And then I woke up the next day and I looked like this. I didn't have to train or anything. It was amazing. It was like fucking Rogers, Steve Rogers, you know, in Captain America. It's fucking awesome. Oh, Ben, let's see what you look like. Usually the people that comment like you do are small, weak, and pathetic. So let's see which one you are. You got anything posted? Created playlist. Let's take a look. Let's see. We have one, Miners Village. That's a year ago. Doesn't show what you look like though. Nice town. Who else? Looks like a beautiful drive. And let's see what you listen to. What's your playlist? Steppenwolf. All right, so you probably Morrison Hotel. You like Morrison? Moody Blues. Nice. So you're probably around my age, huh? You know, it's unbecoming of a man your age to be talking shit like that, especially when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm disappointed in you. Ben Kelly, an old hater. No, you have a good playlist though, so stick around. I like you. Okay. Just because you're my age and you said that comment, I'll tell you exactly what I take. I take 200 milligrams of testosterone, which is a mix. It's like Sustanon. And I take 100 milligrams of DHB, which is dihydroboldenone. Now, as I've gotten closer to competition, I bumped those numbers up a little bit. So I'm like 300 test, 200 DHB. I'll do that until competition, which is on the 15th, and then I'll go back to a HRT amount, which is 300 milligrams a week. Now, people don't believe me, but if you saw me as a natural, at the age of 45, I was 100% natty, and you can look at my videos and go back and see, because that first year I started making YouTube videos, I hadn't gone on testosterone yet. I'm not as big, I'm not as cut, but I was still 200 pounds, and I still had the national records as a tested lifter. So I was pretty fucking strong as a natty. Now, why does that matter? Because you guys think that you just wake up and look like this? Like, no, this takes fucking decades of training. Whether you're on drugs or not. It's like, people are like, I don't want to look like you. You won't. Trust me. And I'm only saying that for you, Ben, because I like your playlist. Everyone else can go fucking eat cheese. Now, as far as everybody else is concerned, I'm on all the drugs they make. All of them. I take every drug that they make that's illegal. And some like crack and meth and maybe like an ether tumbler, like back in the 40s. A little ether tumbler action. Smoked cheese like Hunter Biden. Oh yeah, my right kick's a lot harder. A lot harder. How much is your weight? 220 right now. Actually, where's the scale? Let's weigh. I gotta start paying attention because I'm getting close to competition, and if I have to do a water cut. Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. Hold on here. With everything on, I'm 226. That's putting on a little weight. I gotta start watching it. So, 5 days before competition, if I have to, I'll start drinking like 2 gallons of water a day, and then a day before weigh-in, I'll cut everything off and fast, water, everything. Usually, if I only have to lose like 5 pounds, I can usually do like 12, 14-hour fast. If I got to do more than 10 pounds, it might have to be like a 24-hour fast. The most I've ever cut was 25 pounds, and that was Bobby. His apartment had heated floors, so they had like the floors were heated. So I literally slept on the floor and used it like a sauna. And then when I woke up in the morning, I was like 12 pounds under my weight. So I didn't even come in at 220. I was way under. And then what you have to do is after you weigh in, you have to start immediately pounding water, and you want to replace all your glycogen, glucose, or whatever, all depleted. It's 100% gone. You're on ketosis. And so you can eat donuts, you can eat cookies, candy bars, ice cream, all the shit that you're supposed to stay away from. That's what you want to eat. A lot of guys, when they refeed, they start like eating good meals, like, oh, have some chicken and rice and broccoli. No. Go out and get yourself some, like a 12-pack of Winshield's donuts and cram those down. And, like, this is your time. This is your one time to eat all the shit that you're not supposed to eat. You go into competition fat and happy, and it doesn't weigh you down too much. Usually in the like at the meet, we'll even buy donuts. We'll have like sleeves of Oreo cookies, just like stuff that's not that great for you. And like before a big lift, like 15 minutes before, we'll just start cramming Oreos down or something like that, just to get that like sugar rush. 2 fries and 5 McDoubles, 2 Cokes. Hell yeah. Do you ever take steroid? Yes. Instead of liquid IV, liquid death. Drugs with a chaser of more drugs. Yeah, what I like more than drugs is more drugs. Like, more drugs is better than drugs, for sure. Ben Kelly, let's see. He would gas out so fast in a fight. No, you're right. Absolutely. Like, I'm not trained for a fight. I'm trained for powerlifting. I wouldn't last 1 round. He's 100% right. Well, right now, I would get my fucking ass kicked in a fight, for sure. Like, I still hit hard. Like, you know, if I could get in close and give you one in the liver, like, I could take you out. But most of the younger guys, they like, right now is not the time to be in the ring. Now, after I get done with this competition and I get back into training and I lose 10 pounds, you know, I start getting back into my cardio routine, you'll see a different animal. You guys are going to see something entirely different than what you're looking at now. I'll be a little bit leaner, a little more trim, and I'll still be lifting pretty fucking heavy because I'm going to do maintenance lifting. Like, so if I'm a 650-pound squatter, I can maintenance lift 600 pounds, and it's not even an RPE 9. I could do that forever. So I'd still be a 600-pound squatter. And then if I want to go back into powerlifting, I just decide to dive into that and I start doing that training. So you're going to see a lean, mean machine. But right now, no. Like, he's 100% right. Like, I would die in a fight. Like, I got winded just doing those kicking. The only thing I don't like about Ben is he's just talking shit to be an asshole. But he's 100% right. Like, it doesn't excuse him being a fucking dick. It's like, he's probably sitting on a toilet. He hasn't seen his dick in 10 years. Probably can't even bend over and touch his toes. He's just going to go talk shit to somebody. Like, I'm going to be an asshole. This guy looks like a good target. We're the same age group, douchebag. We should be with me, not against me. Who's your favorite UFC fighter? I mean, either right now I would go with Strickland or Pereira. But all time, I really like Mighty Mouse. I think he's just a cool dude. Him and he's a nerd like me. We both like video games, and like, I don't think he's into Warhammer, but he's into, like, you know, the role playing and stuff like that. Like, he's a dork. He's a fucking nerd like I am. And I think he's the most proficient UFC fighter that's ever lived. Um, and he's a cool dude. He's just a really cool guy. I like him a lot. Family man. Um, you're feeding his ego without realizing it. Probably, but why do you say that? His suplex to Amber is one of the best in UFC finishes. Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're talking about Demetrius. Yeah, I love that guy. And I don't really care. Like, I know John Jones is like, it's hard to dispute that he's probably the greatest. He could, either him or Demetrius are the greatest all time. But John is a douchebag. Like, the one thing I don't like about John Jones is he's not the same person he is on camera. He's fake. It's like, I can respect if you're an asshole if you act like an asshole all the time. Conor McGregor, you know, love him or hate him, he is who he is, you know. What time is it? I'm gonna have to get off here. I went a little longer than I wanted to because I've been enjoying the conversation. I got my stretching done. I got my cardio done, or what little I was doing. And we're just gonna get some light bag work in. I'm fucking heavy. My legs feel like they're lead. Oh, if you guys, you can see in the, actually, if I'm not mistaken, the gym I train at's right here. One Kicks, Las Vegas. I've been going there for about, about 2 months now. You know, I always think that it's interesting the way the conversation goes. Like when you see a guy training and you get like these wannabe UFC fight commentators who probably never trained in their life. And it's always interesting that they assume the motivation is to what? Like go out in public and start beating people up or something? Like you can't just train because you enjoy something? You know, like, oh, you'll never be a professional fighter at your age. Well, yeah. No shit. Like, thanks. I didn't really need you to tell me that. Yeah, like, a matter of fact, I spar with the owner of the gym. He's in his late 60s. He might be 70, you know. I'm not sure how old he is. And he can still whip my ass, too. But, like, he's not going to be a professional fighter anymore. Like, he trains them. So should he stop training? Should he give up because he's not as fast as he used to be? He can't quite get his leg up where you know. His nickname was One Kick Nick because he used to fucking kick guys and they go down in one shot. Like now he's kind of a little slower. Or he telegraphs a little bit. Like he's still better than like 99% of like the average population. He'd still whip everybody's ass. But like compared to guys that are seriously training, there's no way a 50, 60, 70-year-old man's going to go in there and do something. But does that mean we shouldn't train? Like, and even if I was self-taught, like, what's the problem with that? Like, you know, like, I don't understand, like, how that's supposed to be an insult. This guy trained himself, obviously. Okay. Like, that's kind of, you don't think, like, if that was true, wouldn't that be kind of cool? It would be cool, like go online and watch YouTube videos and then like take something up and learn it, and like that's fucking awesome. Dude, I had to take apart a Dodge Nitro and I had to replace the steering clock. I had no idea what the fuck that was. I don't even know what a steering clock is, and I've been a mechanic my whole life. I went on YouTube, I found a tutorial, and I was able to tear the steering wheel apart and replace this fucking piece. Fuck yeah, dude. Self-taught. You got this, like, this fucking dickhead. Not to mention, like, if I was actually in a fighting situation in public, like, if like I thought our lives were in danger and like I had to defend myself, one, I'm either going to use the 45 I carry, or two, I'm not going to fucking throw fists. I'm going to use some Marine Corps shit and try to break your arm and fucking smash your head into a curb. Like, then get the fuck out of there. Like, when I'm not squaring off with you, put up your dukes. You know, like it's fight or flight in that situation. Here we go. One Kicks. I know it's backwards because of the camera, but these are the we have to buy these shorts to train there. I have a couple pairs. They're pretty expensive, like $60 each. Dude, I taught myself how to play the drums. Like, for the most part, I just bought a drum set one day and started playing, and then as the years went by, I figured it out. Look, is that a bad thing? Because I didn't go to school and learn how to read sheet music and march in band? Like, fucking assholes. I love it. God damn it, the YouTube comments section is awesome. You guys are just great. It does concern me, though. You know, like if I could put my dad hat on, I have to imagine if you are the type of person that likes to just like go on people's channel and leave shitty comments, like, have you examined where that comes from? Like, what need does that fulfill? Does it make you feel better about yourself? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand the mentality of like just disparaging people. Even if like I see stuff I don't like all the time. And like this one guy, he was doing squats and he went down like a quarter of the way. And he had like some absurd amount of weight on his back. It was like crazy. It was like 650 pounds. And he could barely get it out of the rack, and he squatted like halfway. And everybody was talking mad shit. And I just simply said, damn, dude, that's a lot of weight. That's really impressive that you could even unrack that. Like keep at it. Like, I'm not going to be the one to shit all over your dreams, you know? Like, this guy thought it was cool. He wanted to share it with the world, and the world took a fucking dump on his head. I'm not going to be that guy. You know what I mean? I'm going to say, you know what? You're doing all right, brother. Keep at it. I might mention, like, just be careful, you know? Like, be safe. Like, squat in the rack, so if you bomb, you don't kill yourself. You know, like, maybe. Yeah, daddy issues for sure. Let's see, 6:27. I got 3 minutes. Let's see, what drill should I do? About head height. Why is this not spinning? Trying to slap the bag. I got no gas left. Ooh, turning kick. Yeah. Is that what you meant by turning kick? Oh, turning kick. Oh, yeah. So, okay. I've been messing around with this. Back in the day when I used to say I could do taekwondo, I could do this axe kick. I don't quite have the flexibility for it. But I got a couple of guys in sparring with it because they didn't see it coming. So I started with a teep, but then I came up, and when I came up, they blocked, and they left their head open. So I was able to. I've been working on that as a. But what you're talking about, and then like that, right? That's a 160-pound Titan bag. This one, this is a 100-pound Venom bag. And then I got, see, that's at head height. And I was practicing slapping it. But, this is my speed bag. Or, I mean, my double end bag. Sorry. Oh, shit. What the hell? Little too tight. A little rusty. that little drill, because your hands are so close to the bag, it keeps you can't hit the bag at the same time when you hit your hands. So it just helps you. Snack Tyson. No, you're right, Halo. I'm heavy. I'm heavy right now. I'm heavy, sluggish, tired, and I'm probably not doing myself any good. But I'm trying to keep up with it. So when I'm done with the powerlifting, then I go back to training. I don't have to like start from scratch. You know what I mean? I'm trying to keep as much of my flexibility and like I notice I'm very flat-footed today. Should be up here. Like, I'll do one little quick round and then I'll get offline. See if I'll go like 75%. Try to get some speed going. I'll start with the pendulum drill. Light and move into it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, my cardio sucks right now. But I could squat 3.5 times my body weight. Oh, what's up, Candle? I work 60 hours a week, dude. Oh, so I'm the area manager for Las Vegas, Southwest Steel. So when we're slow, I can kind of work from home. Like I have a connection to the server from the house. And then if I need to run out to a job, they're all like 10 minutes from here. Like tomorrow, driving up to Utah, I'll be there for a day and a half. So what Candle's saying is because I'm online a lot, I don't work. And Candle, have you ever had a job that's like not McDonald's or like Walmart stock boy or something? Like actual competence where you need like a degree or skills. Like if you go to an interview, you can argue for your own salary, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like you can negotiate a salary with a company. You ever gotten to that level? I am on disability. I have 60% with the VA, so they pay me every month for the rest of my life. And on top of that, I work full-time construction. Like what I'm saying is like based on your comments, I doubt you've ever had a real job, so you probably don't even know how stuff works. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, but what's the problem with it being on disability? Like I got injured in the Marines and I signed a contract. They're fulfilling their end of the bargain. I signed a contract that said, you can have my life. If I get killed, great. If I lose an arm, it happens. Their end of the bargain was if I get injured, they're going to pay me disability. I earned it. I see nothing wrong with that. And I'm not like, yeah, I take care of myself. Right. So what's your point? Like I can't really be offended by your comments because you seem stupid. Does that make sense? Like, I know you say shitty things hoping to get under my skin, but like, I'm just like, ugh, you're kind of sad. Does that make, you know what I mean? Like, I feel bad for you. You just like, I wish you lived here so I could get with you and maybe man you up a little. You know, like I let you hang out with my 13-year-old son, and maybe we'll go to the park and play ball. You know, come on, kids, and show you how how things work in real life. Maybe get you off the internet for a while. Maybe get you to the gym, train you a little bit. Get you meeting a boy or a girl. I don't know what you're into. Probably with dudes. We'll hook you up. Whatever you're into, we'll meet you somebody. You can go out on a date. I'll let you borrow my Chevy Sonic. Come on, son. You can use the keys for your first date. Oh, look at them go. They grow up so fast. So this is Cannel Zoid, everybody. Every time he comes on my stream and he calls me names and he says things that try to make me angry, but I've been honestly trying to connect with him to figure out why he's the way he is. Does that make sense? Like, for some reason, I have a feeling that he's either suffering from a mental disability or there's something wrong in his life. And like, I've been trying to like be friendly with him to see if I can help pull him out of that. Does that make sense? So everybody give Candlezoid a big group hug. Like, he says things that he thinks I'm offended by, but I'm proud of. My disability rating in the Marines, I'm proud of that. I'm a disabled veteran. I earned that. Me being a juice head, a competitive powerlifter, I'm proud of this. I know exactly what I take, why I take it, and what I'm doing to myself. I am proud of it. You're not offending me. You're pointing out things that I think are good attributes. Like, I'm making these decisions and choices knowingly. You're the one that has an issue with it. Like, you're the one that sees a morality problem. That's your don't put your shit on me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, I don't care that it doesn't bother me that you have your opinion. What bothers me is you think that I'm supposed to feel bad about the things you dislike, or somehow I should affect my choices based on your opinion of what I do. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to let your opinion of what I do change what I ask for. Like, why would you? Like, you're never going to be in a position to even comprehend the level I'm at. But I would like to get you there. And you're not going to get there by leaving disparaging comments on YouTube, for sure. You gotta get your ass in the gym and start doing the work, my friend. But I'm here for you, brother. You just keep posting your hate and your venom, and we'll laugh at you. But okay, do me a favor. I've been saying this for about a month now. Can you please try to come up with something clever? Everybody says I should block you, and I don't want to do that. But you're now getting into the territory of being annoying. Like, before it was fun, it's like, oh, look at the little angry guy. Oh, you're so cute, you. But now it's like, oh, you again, You're turning into that guy. Nobody likes that guy. Don't be that guy. What has he said? Anything interesting? Yeah, SLB 3900 is another one. Kano works at Arby's. What's the injury I collect disability? I had 48 stitches in my back, a broken back, and I had my 2 knee surgeries. They rebuilt my right knee. So I was all fucked up. They put me back together funny. And weightlifting saved my life. Weightlifting has what got me mobile again. For a while there, I couldn't even climb upstairs. Saved by grace. Hell yeah, Semper Fi, my man. Viagra for breakfast. I'm more of a Cialis type guy. Why not both? It's okay. No, Scott, seriously, like, you can't get upset on the internet. Like if I was to get upset at everybody that said something disparaging, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. But so what I like to do is we like to laugh about it and make fun of people. But like, if you're going to troll, like say some shit that's actually either funny or like hurtful, like really hurtful, like come up with a zinger, you know. He's all like, you just had you do steroids. I'm like, yeah, thank you. I wasn't aware of this. Appreciate it. My uncle was a Marine and has really bad trauma. It does happen. This guy can't work but work out. So that doesn't make sense, Cannell. Like everybody knows I have a full-time job in construction, and I post videos where we're flying steel, and matter of fact, we just did the Showcase Mall, and we're doing the convention center right now, and we're about to put up the one of the Union halls across from the Orleans Casino. We built the Sphere, that big ass ball in Vegas. We built that. Anyway, honestly, but here, you know, what'd be cool, Cannell? I would love nothing more at my age to retire and not have to work. Dude, if I could stay home and train all day and support my family and not have to go to work, I would fucking do that in a heartbeat. So that shit that you're making fun of me for is like my goal. Like, I totally would be down to not have to go to work and just train all day. Can you imagine? That would be fucking epic. I would love that. If I could get to a point in my life where I could just like not do construction, not wake up at 4 in the morning, that would be great. I would love that. Not there yet though. We got some equity in the house, and like I got I want to say the Steelworker Union retirement fund, and then my disability for the Marines. I think that when the kind of time comes for me to retire, I'll have enough income that we could probably get by, but we're not there yet. So I'll probably work another 10 years, unfortunately, unless by some miracle, this YouTube thing takes off. I'm not going to hold my breath. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for working out with me. Cannell, good to see you again. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Yeah, that Cannell kid's fucking retarded.